Hello, just Jason from Unbreakable Strength and Health, back with another video. This time I'd like to talk about the various types of programs that people have used over the past 30 or 40 years and how different they are in some cases and how well they actually used to work if the right mindset and approach was taken. The one I've got in mind is the one I use myself. I've got it actually from one of my training diaries that I've kept since, this is it, from January 1989, when I was in my late teens, about 18, 19 years old, called the Progressive Pulls Program. I originally copied it from an issue of Powerlifting USA, which I used to get from a sports shop in Bedfordshire in the UK, Pullham Sports, I believe. It's still there today, actually, but then they used to send it to me in the northeast of England. I got this routine, Progressive Pulls, out of there. I believe before then they got it from a Health and Strength magazine in the mid-60s. I don't know who actually invented it, but back in the 80s there wasn't really a lot of choice. There was no internet, obviously, and there was no one really in my vicinity that identified himself to me that knew about percentage training. The only sort of percentages that I used to stumble across in terms of training was the Russian systems, where they would use multiple sets of 2 on 80% and move through that way. There was nothing really other than that came to my attention in the 80s, and the only programs you'd find were in the back of bodybuilding magazines, which obviously the bodybuilding magazines were entertaining and they were good for bodybuilding if that's what you were interested in, but the actual strength training articles in them were few and far between. A massive contrast to what we have today with the internet. But having said that, this routine of Progressive Pulls, it was one of the most productive systems I've ever used, largely because I was young and obviously I was eating plenty of food and my recovery ability was at its peak, because it is a tough program. As you can see, when I copied it from Powerlifting USA, there was no actual percentages mentioned to start on it. It was just pick a weight you can perform 10 reps with on the first week, it being a 6-week periodized program, working from 10 reps to 8 reps to 5 reps, 2 weeks of each. The first week of each rep range was the slightly easiest week. The second week you added 5% and it was a bit more challenging. Then you would drop the reps. When you did your 6 weeks, you would either take a lay off or deload, as we call it now, but they used to just call it a light week, or find another program or redo the program again for even more gains. It consists of a power clean to start with, which is obviously an explosive Olympic lifting based movement, then onto a high pull. We all know what a high pull is. In case you don't know, it's an Olympic lifting based movement again, where you would explosively pull the bar from the floor, raising onto your toes, doing a hip hinge and pulling the bar above your navel, shrugging it up, not using your arms to pull it because you can actually tweak a bicep doing that, and pull it, shrug it up as far as you can, like a very, very fast deadlift basically. Then you move on to a normal conventional heavy deadlift for a top set of 10 reps, and it was a stiff leg deadlift after that, top set of 10 reps. This is just the first week, as you can see on the graph on the screen. Then you finish off with a row. We used to just do conventional, like normal, what you would call Yates rows. We called them just normal rows. We hadn't seen a pendlay row at this point. It wasn't in our scope. We hadn't seen it, so we just did normal bodybuilding rows, although it was with a barbell. This program, it was one of the best programs I did. I remember it specifically. It built the actual power centers of your body, your posterior chain and your back, obviously, because all you need to do actually with this program is throw in on a separate day some pull-ups and overhead presses. And if you're a beginner to intermediate or late intermediate, really, you could build incredible strength and size with this routine alone, which a lot of people did do over the course of years. And it's interesting to note that a lot of the routines in this period were heavily influenced by the Mike Mentor heavy duty system, in as much as you would do a lot of work in 1 or 2 or maybe 3 days a week, and you would spend the rest of the week in recovery. No GPP, no cardio, all the work. It was so the actual workouts themselves were so tough that you would need these extra rest. Actual rest would ensure full recovery and make you more enthusiastic to return to the gym 2 or 3 days later. What I did personally with this program, it's worth mentioning to anyone who perhaps wants to follow it, is to train the legs directly. We wouldn't do any back squats during these 6 weeks. We would do front squats. And we'd also do incline presses or overhead presses with some pull-ups or something to work the upper back. Maybe some direct arm work as well to round it all out. It's a good program. It works just about every time for the intermediate lifter. Is it the best program out there? No, it isn't. But sometimes I feel, looking at social media and YouTube in particular, a lot of younger people equate complexity with success and proficiency, and it isn't the case, because as you do this activity long enough, you'll see that people who are genetically inclined to be strong will be the best and as strong as what they are with virtually any program. You'll get to within 90% or 95% of their actual full ability using just progressive resistance, because they've got superior genetics. You won't find a program out there that can turn a poodle into a pit bull or into a Rottweiler, because it's an analogy that I'm making to let you understand that you've either got the bone structure and the genetics for it or you haven't. That's important to remember, because sometimes people get carried away with programs as if it's going to be revolutionary and turn them into something that they're just not meant to be, which it's never going to happen. Even performance enhancers don't do that, so a program isn't going to do it. But overall, something like this is quite proficient and quite good, because it helps you gain maximally and it gives you a life outside of the gym. It's not meant for older people, obviously. It's meant for younger people with a good recovery ability, but overall I would say it's a good program. I'd recommend it. Hopefully this has helped you and you switch the light bulb on. It's give you something to try, perhaps when the gym's open again, or you can get back to the gym. In fact, something simplistic like this, where you don't have to be in the gym more than 3 days a week maximum, might be ideal under the current circumstances. Just a thought I'll put out there. So anyway, if you liked the video, give us a thumbs up. If you liked it as well, also subscribe if you feel like it. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Until next time, train safe, but still train hard. Thanks very much.